Oh no, I'm the granddad's allotment. So it's sort of days in between Christmas and New Year at the minute. Still off work. Um, don't start back till the 3rd. Cannot really get out into the garden, it's too wet. I've got loads of bulbs to plant, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be a bit drier tomorrow. So I thought I would do a little bit on my seeds and do some germination tests. So I'm going to show you how I saved my chili seeds, and I also did a little video with my tomato seeds a while ago. So they're all dried. What I'm going to do is do a few germination tests on them all. So I've got a few different sorts there. I'll go through them in a minute, but I'll do some germination tests on everything. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different varieties of tomatoes there, which I've saved. Obviously, it's no good saving the seeds if they're not going to germinate. So I'll do some germination tests first to make sure that they're viable. If they're not, start again. I have bought some little seed packets, so once I've know that they are viable, I'll put them into seed packets, and if anybody wants them, I'll make them available. You can just send us a message and send us a stamped addressed envelope or whatever. But I'll do that on the next video once I've established that they are viable. But I thought I would start with the chili seeds this morning. So hanging behind us are my chilies. So usually I string them up. These are habaneros from last year. So I just push a needle through them with some thick thread on, hang them up, let them dry. I've got some of their yellow banana chilies, again last year, but what I've found this year, I've started to buy these little net bags from the local German supermarket, and I bought them, but I keep my garlic and stuff in. Once I've dried it, instead of stringing it, I keep it in the kitchen, and it's dry. You just pick one out. I've also got in there, that one's my ginger and turmeric. Again, just keeps it, usable. I'm not too bothered about it being dry because I'm using it in tea. So what I basically do is shave off a few strips of turmeric and ginger. With that, I've got like a little mandolin type shaver, and then just drop in some hot water, and that's how I'm using that. So and then my garlic's up there. But I thought, well, I'll do my chilies with it this year, and just, instead of stringing them, just hang them up and let them dry. So we'll start with these ones first. These are Scotch bonnets. Now, because they are chilies, I would recommend you wearing gloves, especially when you start cutting them up. But they are dry, and all I'm going to do is cut them open, get the seeds out, and then I'll put them onto some germination. So we've got Scotch bonnets, we've got Joe's Long chilies there. I mean, these are perfectly usable. You could use these in cooking. Just grind them up and put them into a little coffee grinder, grind them up, and that's your ginger powder. They are perfectly usable. Or soak them in some hot water, cut them up, put them in your chili. But I'm just saving these for the seed. So we've got Scotch bonnet, Joe's Long, habanero, and banana yellow, and I've got some in the bag there as well, banana yellow. And we're just going to cut them open and save the seeds into some little tubs. So I'll get my tray out. So have a quick slurp of tea first. Right, I've got some little tubs here. I can put some gloves on. Like I say, just be very careful, especially when you've got hot chilies. You know, Scotch bonnets they're not mega hot nowadays, you know, but they're hot enough. And if you touch your eye or, you know, wipe your nose, or go to the toilet, even worse, you know, it's a bit of a nightmare. So I'll do Scotch bonnets first. So I'm just going to tip these out. I'll keep these nets for next year, put them in the washing machine, wash them. I use them for picking, you know, the tomatoes and stuff when I'm coming from the allotment, stuff like that. So we're not wanting to keep the actual shell or the outside of it, so I'm just going to put them into a tub to get rid of. So cut the top off with a pair of scissors and just simply shake the seeds out into the tub. It's better than doing them when they're fresh. You can do them when they're fresh, but the sinew that's sort of around the chili tends to, you know, go slimy. You have to dry them out on tissue paper like I do with the tomatoes. But yeah, just open them up. So one chili there, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 seeds out of one chili, out of one Scotch bonnet chili. So, you know, if they're going to germinate, which I've no doubt that they will, you know, I'm going to have hundreds of Scotch bonnet chilies available for you. You know, I've got, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20, you know, that's going to be 400 seeds, roughly, that I can make available for people. Right, so let's crack on. Right, I'm just going to crack on. I'll speed this up a bit so you don't see us sitting here sorting seeds. Right, I've done the habaneros. Oops, nearly lost them all. Which is those ones there. So I don't know, there's thousands of seeds in there. And I've done the Scotch bonnets. So a couple of hundred seeds in there. Right, I'm going to do the rest and then I'll get back here. Right, so I've done the other two. I've done the yellow banana, and they are the Joe's long. Now, there's not that many Joe's long because a lot of them, when I put them into dry, were still green. So I want ripe seeds. Seeds need to go, you know, over, basically. That's how things work. They'll, you know, eventually they'll go over, drop off and rot away. That's what you want. But these were harvested green, so that in theory the seeds aren't ripe. There's a lot of them. I mean, those ones, those yellow ones, are quite bright seeds, but there is a few that have got dark black spots on, especially in the Scotch bonnet ones. Now, I think they've gone over and they've got mouldy because when I was taking the stuff out, there was a bit of dust, you know, came out. So we'll try it and see what happens with each one. I've just put a little plant label in each one with what they are. Quick slurp of tea there. So for the germination bit, all I'm going to do is put a bit of kitchen roll in each little tub. Bit of water on the kitchen roll just to damp it down a bit. And I'm going to put just a few seeds of each one. Which one's this? That's the habanero. So probably half a dozen seeds out of each one. And I'm going to get, you know, some of the ones that are a little bit discoloured as well. So half a dozen, I don't know if you can see them, half a dozen seeds. I'll do two in each pot, and then I'm just going to cover them with another bit of paper. So let's get a lid right on where they are. Habanero. I'm not going to be able to see that, so it's just right on here. Habanero, what other ones will I do? Jaws long. Pop a stick in each one. Jaws long. So I'm just picking these up with the damp end of the so the tweezers is working just as well. Just using the damp end of the pen. Right, there we go. 6 jaws long, 6 habanero. Another bit of tissue paper over the top. Just going to put the lid on, and I'm going to put them in a warm place. Come back in a week, 10 days, and see what happens. Right, same process for the other two. Couple bits of kitchen roll in there. And I'm not growing, you know, these aren't going to be grown onto full plants. They're just to see whether they actually germinate. So what have I got in this one? Scotch bonnet. Again, 6 seeds. Excuse me. Just as a test, to see whether they do germinate. I've no doubt they will. I've got no, you know, qualms about it. But we don't want to be pinning all our hopes on sowing seeds when they're not gonna germinate. So, you know, we'll try our best to find out whether they do or not. So that was the Scotch bonnet. You know, otherwise you're just wasting your time. You know, when it comes to January, you want to plant them properly. you want to make sure that you're going to get something from them. So these are I think these are the yellow. Looking at the yellow banana. Smaller seeds in this one, but you get a lot more of them than you do the Scotch bonnet. You didn't get that many seeds out of, but 20 seeds per Scotch bonnet. You probably get about 40 out of this one. Right, there's a few more than 6 there, but let's get a stick. So yellow, banana, and there we are. Scotch bonnet. Yeah. Again, just another bit of tissue paper over the top of them. Got 6 seeds in each. There's a few more. Just got a few more come out, but we should get, you know, if I get 50% germination rate, you know, 1 every 2, you know, that's a good result. That's enough to plant. You're just planting more than, you know, sow this twice as many seeds. So that's what chili's done. Right, let's have a look at my tomatoes. Chili up my nose, sorry. Right, so these are the tomato seeds I sowed, I saved, and these were done by the fermentation method. Showed you in a couple of videos back. But basically, you just take the tomato seeds out of the tomato, put them in a little pot with some water, give them a shake about, leave them for a week, and they'll start and the water will start and go all slimy and ferment. Take that water out, give them a shake up again, leave them for another week. Take that water out, and then all the slimy stuff off the tomatoes should have disappeared. And then you just put them on a bit of tissue paper to dry. So these are white tomatoes. Let's see what I've got go with them. Next one's a Tigerella in there. I'll just write the names on the top of the tissue. Put them in a tub. I've normally put them on top of the boiler, to be honest, because it's a nice warm place. Again, we're going to do the germination of these. So exactly the same principle. And again, we want to try and get some germination from these. Break these up because some of them are little clumps. If you can't get them off the paper, what you can do is just cut around the paper and plant the paper. Let's get a couple off. Again, I'm going to do 6 seeds, and if I get 50% germination rate, that's good enough for me. I used to put my glasses on because these are tiny, these. So that's the white toms. Just write that on there before I forget it. And Tigerella. And these are all ones, you know, which I've grown for a couple of years. So they're not seeds I've bought in. They're from seeds I, you know, saved the previous year. Just picking these off because there's 2 or 3 together in a little clump. There we go. Again, 6 in each. A little bit of paper over the top. We'll give these a week again. Right, I'll just speed you up a bit. Right, that's the last lot done. I've just done black cherry, so I've only got one of the red pointed ones because I only had 6 seeds, so I've sown one of those, but I've done 6 of everything else. So I've got yellow cherry, red cherry. I've got tigerella, white tomatoes, and then I've got red pointed and black cherry tomatoes. All seeds which I've saved from my own tomatoes. I will have some more. I've got some that I saved and that at the allotment, so I'll bring those back over. And I'm just going to pop these on top of the boiler for a week or so. Maybe it's 10 days, 2 weeks for the chilies to germinate, because they do take a little bit longer, but they're going to be in somewhere nice and warm. Again, I just want to see a shoot. I just want to see germination, and then we can go from what seed sown from there. Right, so that's it for this one. I'll see you in a couple of days, hopefully on the allotment, and we'll see what sort of damage we've got. Right, catch us on the next one. See you all later.